Hi, I'm sitting here with Cat McNaughtan today, the CEO and founder of the amazing Getting Lost card game. Um, Thank you very much for inviting us to your home and having a chat.
Oh, no, excited to talk. Always excited to talk about
Cool.
getting lost.
I suppose one of my questions that I've been intrigued to know is where you actually came up with the idea from, because it brings out the child in me, and I just love the idea.
Yeah, it's actually the question that we probably get asked the most.
Really?
Yeah. So where did you come up with this? And at the same time, a lot of people have played a similar sort of game. So played the left-right game. So it's not entirely alien to them, but at the
Yeah.
same time, they haven't seen it presented like this. So my husband James and I, we met at a campground when we were 12 and 13 years
Oh,
old.
wow.
Uh, yeah, we dated a little bit when we were teenagers, but we both went our separate ways and met different people and had different lives. And then 10 years ago, were both separated from our partners. I had two daughters, he had a daughter. And we decided to get back together. And so merged our families together, and there was obviously a lot going on. He was living in the Hauraki Plains when we met, working part-time as a joiner, and I was working in an Auckland ad agency, so we couldn't be more
God,
different.
so different.
So
Yeah.
different. And then James and his daughter moved in with us up in Auckland, and so it was really chaotic.
God, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Trying to blend two lives like that, so different.
So, and James was really adventurous. He was like, we were going to waterholes, he was diving, hunting, fishing, doing all the things that me and my kids had never been exposed to before. And likewise, we were sort of taken into places that I'd never been before. And so the writer and the photographer and me went, I want to document this. I feel like this is maybe something that I could write about that may help other people going through this. So I kind of didn't really have a clear sense at that point of what it was, whether it was talking about blended families or whether it was talking about travel. It was kind of a little bit of both. And so we called it Getting Lost because it felt like we were getting lost. And it was one of the first family traditions we had was actually playing kind of this, but unintentionally we got lost, and it kind of brought the kids together. So we made this blog. And it kind of resonated with a whole bunch of people. So, and people started following us and started asking us, not so much for the blended family advice. That was kind of, I think that was just a outlet for me to, to write about that. But the travel stuff. So people started saying, oh, look, how do you find all these cool places? Like,
well, yeah, because I mean, they're all so unique.
Yeah, they were really off the beaten track, like, finding a fence full of shoes out the back of Coromandel somewhere, or finding a shipwreck on the Thames coast. And it's like, we could talk about all of these places, but for most people, they still wouldn't go and find them. So yeah, people would ask all the time, how do you find all the cool places? And we're like, just explore, adventure, stop using Google, like just jump a fence, go down a road you haven't been down before. But it kind of dawned on us that people wanted directions. So by this point, we had around 20,000 people following our blog. So kind of
that's quite an audience, isn't it?
It was quite
really?
an audience,
wow.
yeah. And that was just the social media, so we had more people going on the website. So we had an inbuilt kind of test group, I guess, from day one. So a lot of people. So in every game we create, we go out and say, hey, look, we're thinking about a photography edition. What do you want to see in it? And so we get this amazing richness of opinions, and it's kind of why we say this is not just our game. This belongs to our community because they help shape it, craft it. We just bring it to life.
And I think the amazing thing is that it just covers so many age groups as well. You know, from kids through to the elderly. It doesn't matter, does it? Anyone who's got a dog, it's a great game for them, or it's fantastic for someone with a camper van. So I mean, it really does bring in so many different groups of people, doesn't it? Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Really, really brilliant. No, and I mean, with the whole idea of it being a card game, the fact that you have this wonderful little suitcase which is full of all these cards with lots of different ideas. So really, every time you play it, it's a new experience, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Depending on the people you're with or where you happen to be.
Yeah. So you could literally start from the same place.
Yeah.
And end up somewhere different each time.
Yeah. When I took the photography edition out the other day, in fact, I've taken it out 3 times now. I did. I went to Ariwa, I went into the city, and then I went up around Mount Eden.
Amazing.
And I went through all the cards. Because, as you know, we're going to be doing this workshop with our students as well. And I just wanted to see what the results were from all the different things you were suggesting. And I came back with a selection of photographs which were all totally different for each single day.
Yes.
And it was really absorbing. I got completely lost in it. I forgot what the time was. And I don't know, it was just fun. They were new ideas coming through, things which I hadn't actually thought about before. And, and I run a photography company. So no, I think it's brilliant. I really do. What's the top selling one?
It depends what time of the year it is. So at the moment, it's our Aussie edition and our road trip edition. So those are typical on the road kind of games, and summer's kind of up there as well. Photography's in the top 5, which is not actually where we expected it to be. We didn't expect it to be one of our big selling games. But if you go back to June, our top selling game was actually our decluttering edition, which was a new one that we launched.
Out of interest, with your decluttering,
yes,
who buys it? Do the people who want to declutter, or somebody thinks, God, your house is a mess, have it as a present?
Do you know what? I was so worried that was going to happen this Christmas, that it was going to stay our top selling game. And I'm like, that is a very passive-aggressive gift.
So sort of a real argument over Christmas lunch.
But it has dropped right down. And I'm like, that is exactly what I want to see. I want to see people buying it for themselves.
Yeah.
Rather than being, I think that's a really personal thing.
It is a bit, isn't it?
It's a little bit like giving up smoking or deciding to go on a diet. You have to be personally ready. So I think, it worried me. The decluttering has been crazy. There's been so many groups that have kind of sprung up that have done joint decluttering missions.
Oh, really?
Based on the cards, and it's incredible.
Oh, awesome!
It's so cool.
These people sort of obviously keep you in contact with what they think about it.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, so and it is incredible to see how much it's genuinely helped people. But so it is seasonal. That definitely our top 10 games changes. Yeah. And when we have a launch, something will jump up. But we absolutely did not expect photography to be the success that it's been.
Yeah. Well, I must say, since we've launched it with you, we've had a huge interest from people.
That's so good.
So as you know, we're running the groups in January, February, and March. So I'll be able to report back.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to see the photos.
Oh yeah, no, I can't either. It should be fun. With the camper van edition, I would imagine you get so many overseas people buying it, don't you? Who are looking at coming to New Zealand on holiday and...
Yeah, we actually sell a majority of our games overseas.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 70% of our games go offshore. So the camper one, we don't get so mane people buying it to bring into New Zealand.
Right.
We get a few people that discover us in New Zealand because we're in places like the eyesights and the museums and gift shops and things like that. And they go, okay, what's this game? And then realise that they can play it back home as well. So not as many people bringing it in, more people taking it back and then going, right, we can play it there too. Yeah.
Oh, so, I mean, if I was going to, I don't know, the UK or something, I could take a pack with me and I could use that in that country.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the idea of it, is that because it's generic, like things that you will find pretty much anywhere, at least let's say in the outback, you can play it anywhere. And so that's what we designed for. So we've had, 70% of our sales internationally. I personally have played Getting Lost all around New Zealand. I played at Sydney, Melbourne, Singapore. So our biggest markets, Australia's our biggest market.
Right, okay.
Then New Zealand, then the US.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So have you got plans to go into Europe?
A little. It's not, US is our next big focus, just because we've had so much viral success in the US. So we currently sell to the rest of the world outside New Zealand and Australia with no advertising.
Right.
So it's just word of mouth.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this obviously is why you were the winner of the 2 Degrees Business Awards of the year. What was that? Last year, wasn't it? 2024.
This year, yeah.
Oh, is this? Oh, of course.
Yeah,
just
in
of course
August.
We're not 25 yet, are we? No, I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you were overall the winner, not just the winner of your category.
We were, yeah. So we won strategy and planning, which is great as a former strategist to win that one, and marketing, and then also the overall winner. So yeah, that was really cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really brilliant. And that would because you were then featured on the television. They did that wonderful interview, and I think the thing that struck me about that was when you guys were in the car driving to the op shop to buy your outfits. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
Brilliant. We've always been huge advocates of teaching. We've run something called the Wish Project for a fair number of years now, where we take someone from school or who are just looking to become a professional photographer, and then we push them through our Wish Project. It's all free, but it's our way of giving back to the community. And I've always really wanted to have a business which did that, and it's just lovely to hear that you do exactly the same. So with these young people coming through who are working for you at the moment, you say you're offering them the training of Illustrator and all that sort of thing. That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's really important to us as well.
Yeah.
So we've had already some of our staff have been with us 3 years,
cool.
Which is amazing when you've got teenage staff who,
absolutely.
And they've started with us when they're in year 11 at school.
Yeah.
And are now going on to university. So, and we would love that they stay working for us right through university, but at the same time that we can increase their skill set.
Absolutely.
So that is things like when we just redesigned all of our games in March this year, and over 30 games with 30 cards per pack. You can imagine how much work you have to do in Illustrator to make that happen. So rather than getting a graphic designer to do that, we had our graphic designer sit down with our students who we knew were pursuing careers in graphic design and taught them how to use Illustrator. And that whole muscle memory of doing that 900 times, you get really good at.
I can imagine.
And like, okay, this is how Illustrator works. This is how I save a file. This is what I do here.
Yeah.
And likewise, we run trade events. So we've got 2 young people that we're bringing up in trade events and getting them used to dealing with customers, giving them travel opportunity.
Yeah, it's like a real apprenticeship, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the idea is that even if they don't go on to work for us, and we'd love it if one of them decided that actually I do want to work for Getting Lost once I finish school. But equally, we actually haven't had anyone leave yet, which is a really weird thing.
No, that's very cool.
With 15 staff. But I'm really looking forward to when they do and we go, we helped. Like, we helped give you those skills to get this amazing job. And how cool
then
is this?
Looking at them, say, in 5 or 10 years' time and just seeing where they've gone with it. It's it's very rewarding.
We make a Getting Lost crew t-shirt each year, and so it's a competition. The kids can design it, so anyone can enter. And then we make one of them into a t-shirt, and they get made for all of the staff. So I kind of have this vision in like 5 years' time that it's going to be like how many years of Getting Lost t-shirts have you got? And the fact that they wear them like they've worn them to uniform day at school. We go to a trade show and they turn out wearing them, and the pride that
that's lovely.
Want to be part of it. It is so cool.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, well done you. So going forward then, what are your plans for the future other than sheer domination of America? Have you got more games coming up?
Yeah. So we always look at new games. So we try to do 5 to 6 new games each year, and very much led by that community again. So I have a massive list of suggestions that we're kind of working through, and I'm very much of the opinion that the right game will come at the right time. So we'll have support from that community, or something will come up that'll make it really topical at that point. So they kind of, you know, you kind of have them all in a big mixing pot, and one will just bubble up to the surface, and you'll be like, right, that's the one. So I'm not sure yet what we're going to do next year. I'm equally unsure. I bounce backwards and forwards about whether I want to grow or whether I don't. So at the moment, it's a 5-minute walk for me to get to the office. It's just around the corner. My 3 kids work for me. A lot of their friends work for me. I work with my sister and my cousin.
Oh, wow, brilliant.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So it's not really like work, really, is it?
It's not like work. We have so much fun. We get to travel around the country and frequently over to Australia. So there's lots of travel. There's lots of fun. We are a multi-million-dollar business, but not a gigantic business. And the problem with growing too big is that we need more people. Yeah. We need, you know, people have done this before rather than us just kind of figuring out. So it quite significantly changes what the business looks like. It means we can't operate out of that premises because we're too big. We start to move into the city. We lose like the localness that we have.
Yeah, because you employ a lot of young people around here,
We do. So we employ 15 young people from the local school.
Thank you. It's been totally interesting. I'm so sold on all of the games. Everyone's getting them for Christmas.
Nice.
It's been fascinating. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.